Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we're here back once more on the ovals. This time round we're at Daytona in the 1987 NASCARs. Now for those of you that don't know, the 1980s in NASCAR were a bit of a wild time. You know, motorsport generally had gone pretty mad by the 1980s. Of course you had Formula 1 cars with whacking great turbos on them. Group C was absolutely mental. You know, you had Lemans cars doing 240 miles an hour down the Mulsanne. Nascar was pretty insane in its own right as well. The cars from the 1980s are quicker than the cars of today. We've got the Chevy Monte Carlo. We've got the Ford. I can never remember the name of it off the top of my head. That was absolutely mental. And then also the Buick LeSabre. Yeah, these cars were topping out. You know, they were doing qualifying runs in the 210 mile an hour bracket, and that was without slipstream from each other. 220 miles an hour in the tow. So we're going to wait and see as to how this goes today. We've got a 50 lap race around Daytona, but it looks like I'm in bottom split. So it's probably just going to be absolute chaos. Get yourself subscribed for more, and yeah, we'll see how this goes.
You got awfully quiet.
Time was 44.3.
Who got awfully quiet?
You are literally trying to slide this thing into the corners. You're having to turn in so much earlier than you do in the modern NASCARs. I forgot to mention as well, this is Daytona 2008, so it's incredibly bumpy. Up over the line though, it's going to be a 44.170. Yeah, I can see now why, of course, your driver inside iRacing is hold the steering wheel up here. It is actually easier to hold it with, but I've really got no idea how this race is going to go this evening. We'll try and keep it clean and tidy. I've changed around my gear shifter as well. I'm running sequential rather than full H pattern now, so I don't cook more NASCAR trucks. But yeah, qualifying not too bad then. We're going to be there or thereabouts. But yeah, I mean, it's 50 laps in the classic NASCARs. It's just going to be chaos.
Where they go?
Right, we're rounding through the oval then. There's a lot of chatter going on in sort of it, but it all seems fairly light-hearted at the moment. So yeah, like I said, normally with the oval racing, I just cut out the caution periods. You know, we let the green flags run through the edit. But yeah, starting P3 then for 50 laps of Daytona. Apparently the racing in the 87 cars can be quite weird. So we'll wait and see what happens. There we go. Green flag racing from Daytona.
Did you end up running another Archer race?
Just got to make sure that we get through the gears immediately, nice and tidy.
I did a street stock race before this one.
Now we're up to fourth. I can bring my hands up towards the top of the wheel then, and yeah, let's wait and see how this goes. Hopefully it won't be ridiculous pack racing. I mean, I don't think this was... I think this was the start of plate racing, wasn't it? In NASCAR 1987, or it was around this time, wasn't it? It's already the 25 chance, looking mighty aggressive there to the outside. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is first proper racing laps. I think I've done one race before in the 87 cars, so of course we'll have to wait and see how the aero affects things. You know, we've got to give people so much room, and the fact you can't hold on the apron and things like that in these cars just because they move around. I mean, they're basically just 3-ton bathtubs strapped to a rocket ship. There, look at that, 213 miles an hour. Back into turn one, big blender throttle though. I have to slow it back down in towards the corner there. It's not like Daytona or Mondays where it's completely pinned all the time everywhere. You know, you do have to lift off quite a lot, as we could have got a decent run down the straight, but like I said, I'm just going to sit back early on. You know, I'm not going to try and do anything aggressive. I just want to actually try and get to the checkered flag of one of these. Just because we've had so many issues in the oval race we've done so far. You know, the ARCA race at I can't remember where it was off the top of my head. Darlington, I knew it began with a D. That one, yeah, just a little bit chaotic, and then of course the race we did at Talladega in the trucks. I unfortunately ruined myself late on in the day after we avoided most of the wrecks. I then end up finishing behind most people that got involved in the ranks because I managed to clutch. I accidentally downshifted rather than upshifted as well. The 25. Wallops the wall. That might be him out of it already. I don't think he was particularly high iRacing. No, he only had 600 iRacing.
What cars are the Winter Series running right now?
So yeah, that is unfortunate for him. That might explain, perhaps he's got a lot of pace but just lacks consistency. That's why he's got very little iRacing. Then again, we are racing on the ovals, so anyone can be pretty strong. There's already then safety car out.
Wow,
only taking us 2 laps.
We couldn't get another lap in. Come on.
Oh, bloody hell.
As everyone's trying to just slow. I mean, these things don't slow down. That's the really funny thing. They just don't stop. So obviously everyone's so worried about locking up. Whoa!
Sorry.
A safety car scared the life out of me. I thought that was someone coming to wreck me. Right, no, the heart's still working. We're all right. We've survived. We've survived 3 laps. Right, we're about to go green once again. Then I'm honestly tempted if I make it to the end of this race, just to upload the whole thing over unlisted because the chat is just hilarious. The stuff these guys are talking about. It's so different to what you get in the European stuff where no one really talks. But of course, yeah, NASCAR, these guys are just chilling on a Friday evening. And fair play to them. This is so weird, but very, very good fun in its own way. But starting lap 7 then, already we've got Josh trying to make a bit of a breakaway for it, so we might try potentially make an overtake there. He's got 14 on one side, 15 on the other, so... Oh, come on, boys.
That didn't take long.
That was 1 corner we made that time round. That's good going. Right, well, about to start lap 11 then of this race. About to go green once more, but I just realised now, which is probably not a good thing to admit, that it's single file off the start, but when are we going to see Josh lead the way once again? There he goes. Luckily we've got a bit of breathing room from the guy behind, but I love the fact as well these things rev up to nearly 8,000 RPM as well. They are so cool, these older NASCARs, as
I kicked myself in the ass
into 4th gear once again. Bring the hands up towards the top of the steering wheel and let's see how many laps we can get under our belt this time round. Already cars behind us having a bit of a battle. Very close there off the turn. I can only look so much in my mirrors though. I've got to make sure I'm looking where we're going. As are we going to see the 15 try and make something happen? We've got a big old run, but don't really want to do anything with it just yet. This thing just slides around so much underneath. It's been quite interesting. We'll get some data from other drivers about the tyres. Oh, and things like that. That is very close to the wall. Very close to the wall there at the final corner. And that's the thing, you've just got to be so careful with these cars. And we got another one. We got 1 whole lap in that time round.
Caution 3.
But caution 3 already. It feels like when I used to do the NASCAR Cup Series, and that was just caution after caution after caution on some of the smaller ovals. But I'm kind of hoping it's just all the bad people just taking each other out, and then hopefully we might actually get some clean racing between some of the cleaner drivers, but who really knows what's going on? It's going to be a long one. Right, we go again.
Now I'm trying
back to start lap 16. We're pretty much already now at 1/3 distance, and most of that has been done under caution, so we'll wait and see as to how this is going to go. But I mean, Josh is pretty much going at the same point every time.
So mine was at like
hopefully we are, just like I said, seeing some of the worst drivers, or drivers that can't really drive, getting knocked out. As back up into 4th gear we go. Once more the hands just move up the steering wheel. Certainly the way to do it there, as every time Casey doesn't seem to be able to get the restart that you would want. So we're going to get a nice run again, heading out down onto the back stretch. Might be able to try and get down to the inside again. It's still way too early to be. I mean, we could go for a move if it's there, but don't really want to go for. There's no real point in risking it. We're at the front of the field. We haven't really got a lot to play for because it's still way too early on in this race. But we'll wait and see. It's looking at 210 miles an hour as you cross the start-finish line. These cars are absolutely mental.
That was at 47.9.
Just show the nose, but already getting out of the throttle. By the time we get into turn 1, it's all about trying to get the car sliding back down to where we need it. And I think this has been the longest green flag period since the start, because we've made it out of turn 2 as the 7 car. AC is looking a little bit feisty, potentially wants to make something happen. And again, we've all got to try and work together still very early on It's from this big lift off there, big side. You can just see how much goes through the steering wheel on these cars as well. You know, they really do just absolutely skate around underneath you. So Josh at the front there gets incredibly
Yeah, I do like
close
those
to the wall.
round number, full number boost.
Yeah, we do seem to be pretty quick, but just again, don't really want to do a huge amount with it just yet. Just got to bide our time, you know. It is like a game of chess. I always say it about racing, but oval racing in these sorts of cars is kind of like playing chess where every piece has got a mine under it, is how it kind of feels. Are we going to see the 15 go for anything? No, we're not. We'll have a look to the inside.
He's still there.
Make sure we keep it on the low side. There we go, we have made a move. So something has happened then in the first 20 laps or so here from Daytona as 13 of Josh. Just, again, you don't really want to... I mean, this was the thing, of course, NASCAR back then was so dangerous. You know, the drivers did have a lot more respect for each other. Of course, there were still big incidents, but everyone was a lot more careful around each other because you did know one big incident, if you go the wrong way, that could be game over. But, yeah, up into P2 then, looks like... I can't remember who it was already that was just behind us, is dropping back slightly as Casey now up into P3. Josh just trying to cover the inside into the corners.
You want to go faster on this track, turn your sound off.
Just kiss the apron and then just the car gets flung out. Towards the outside as here comes the 7.
Do you want to go faster?
Oh, come on. You should never have to lift out through there, it's so weird. There is the 15. Boy, that was close. We kind of just met in the middle. So we're trying to get back down to the inside. Going to get a run off
The
of turn 2.
sliding of the tires
Might just
slows
be
you
able
down
to.
in your brain.
He's still there.
It's 13 as well, it's going to sit defensive, so we'll see what we can do around the outside.
Sound off.
Still there. Clear low.
Of course, you do kind of get dragged, of course, into the corners. But, I mean, yeah, the tyres shouldn't do a whole race anyway.
Walter, I'm just cruising, by the way. I'm not
So,
even wide open throttle.
I mean, we may as well just keep pushing on them until we get... I'm probably going to box at a caution after lap 30 is kind of the goal.
We're way
Wait and
back,
see
so
if
we
we're
don't
so
have to
much
slam
early
on
on.
the brakes if there's a
It's not
wreck.
done under caution, but the tyres should be in pretty good nick
true.
still. You know,
But,
even when we've been slowing
I'm
down
like 70%
under safety car and things like that, I've been
up
trying to
there in
make
front of me.
sure I don't take much out of them. So
Listen, that
13.
guy behind me at the front's got a massive push now.
He's still there.
He keeps trying to
We'll have a look
pass
to
on
the
the outside.
outside.
Still
Never
there.
usually works.
Still there.
Oh, I can make a pass on the
Those
inside.
there
work.
though, oh,
Bit
big
on
blender
inside.
throttle.
No,
The
passes on the
7's
inside.
going to make it
right?
through.
He's
Not
still there.
necessarily on
Yeah,
the
not going to
outside.
take big risks.
Hold your line. They're inside.
He just gets so close to
Oh,
that
wait, no,
wall.
I made a pass on the outside work. I'm sorry, I got my left and right confused again.
So scary there, but you're just sliding out towards the wall. Now, if it doesn't grip up, it's game over. But I mean, yeah, these NASCARs as well were pretty tough back in the day, but it's just, you know,
I just
you
made
tap
the
back
pass
in.
on the outside work, but not
The fact
corner.
these things have no downforce on them, anything like that, they really do just feel like bricks. I mean, we're experimenting, we're trying to build up some confidence with the car. They see the 23 actually, sorry, now. Just kind of fill in the mirrors, but we'll see what the 7 can do on Josh as well at the front there. I mean, look how much steering lock it's required just to get the car in through the banking there. And to actually hold it there as well, we just nudge the apron once again. It just really fling you up towards that outside wall when you do that. But nice to actually getting some green flag laps in. I'm sure by saying that, I just jinxed it. We're going to get a caution
Was that
in the next few
44.5?
seconds. But yeah, now we're pretty much at half distance then.
Lap times are pretty
Try and
consistent.
head through turn 1. Yeah, we've just got to see though what's going to happen. As again, we're going to nice run. Boy, that was got a little bit sketchy for a moment.
Carlo.
7 thinks about it, but backs out.
Still there.
They've all been lifted
Clear
up
low.
so
Yeah, I'm
much.
starting to contribute a
Oh,
little
that
bit.
was close. That was
Inside.
very, very close.
Safety car deployed.
Oh, there we go. Safety car's out. And we're luckily ahead of the 7. So we're going to restart now
Yeah,
in
I think I'm
P2,
moving
but
to P2
maybe
at
now
some
we'll
point.
start seeing some pit
What
stops from
the
a few
hell,
people.
dude?
Well, it looks like we're going to see a lot of cars into the pit lane then under this caution. Of course, you do get 2 sets of tyres to change during these races, so we're probably going to see a lot of cars
Hey,
box
on the
now, and then if we get another caution later on,
Lane speed limit
cars are going
is
to do it
97
again as well. Let's just make
kilometers per
sure
hour.
that we get the
leader,
car
Burgess, is
sat at
pitting.
60
With
miles
that
an hour.
technique, McQueen did pop both his back tyres, so
Let's see what our tyres were on. It doesn't reckon they were too bad. Just got to make sure we get our car slowed into the box. So right down the far end. There we go. Ah, they weren't too bad. But yeah, we're going to put a half tank of fuel in. That should see us
Yeah, I
safely
really
through
didn't need tires.
to the checkered flag.
96
But
on
yeah,
the
but
right
apparently no
front,
one would really use their
97
tyres up as
right
much as any
rear.
of us thought we would. But yeah, fuel's
I
now
tried to
gone
tell
in,
you,
so we're
you
just
didn't need
waiting
'em.
on those tyres
I got
onto the
98
car. As
across the board.
Wait, I'm gonna get them special tires.
just, there we go. Dropped
got
off the jacks, and we
399
should
for the
still be
98.
in P2, I think. I think everyone boxed. I think, no, it looks like a few cars stayed out. That's quite interesting then.
Bill, did you just?
Right, well, 24 more laps to go
no, I
then.
think it
We
was
have
this
now got
race I
enough
had a guy
fuel to
fucking
get to the flag. We
spin me.
should have tyres as well to get to the flag,
you.
irrespective of whether it was cautions or green flag running right the way
It was
through
me,
to
I
the end. But we've got
dumped him, he was
one
in my
lap to
way.
go. Starting
No, it
on
was
the
like a
low
5
side.
car,
Green
something like
that.
flag racing, and the number 5 hasn't gone. So all a little bit sketchy then
Car
on
outside.
the restart. As all the 7 again is going to try and make something happen.
He's back there in my rear
We've
view.
got to try and slot back in.
Clear outside. Carlo.
So I don't really want to get stuck behind these guys
Hold your line.
for all too long. Is around the outside there. I think that is
Inside clear.
the Sabre. I don't think they've actually seen one of them. I think back when I did the 87 racing, this was before the Buick was in, so it was just the Ford. And the Ford Thunderbird, that was the name that I forgot at the
Car
start.
inside.
Yeah, but I don't think that was
Hold your line.
in this thing, as hopefully the 18's going to back out.
Still
No,
there.
he's not.
Nah,
Come
Walter,
on,
I
mate,
just
you're a lap
left it
down.
in torch here on that
Thank
restart,
you.
so you didn't bother
Get
putting
round
my
him.
foot to the floor.
And luckily, yeah, the cars that I'm really in a battle with, then we are still hanging on to them. We've actually got a really good run out the final turn on the 7. But yeah, Kenneth, I mean, he didn't box. I mean, look at that. You shouldn't get understeer like that. At that sort of corner, as we'll just apparently go line of stern, then try and move past Kenneth as best as possible. Wait and see whether it actually works out well or not. So try and make sure we hold the line.
Still
We
there.
so wanted to move up high, then we could have got a really nice
Clear
run.
outside.
But Kenneth's still there. So we'll just stick in behind the 13 and the 7 for now. Be super, super careful, of course, still. Moving hands up the wheel once more, Matt. Remember to do that. It's a little cheat code.
Aw,
in
David,
these cars,
you get
apparently.
caught up in that.
Oh, I think we might have another caution. Apparently not yet. Don't know how we're avoiding caution. No, that's just telling me we're back into P3. I mean, this is probably the battle at the moment to be watching.
I feel like the fact that I've been pretty holding inside line
Yeah,
all
the 7
day
Casey
to
is looking really to try and make
preserve the
moves.
time.
We might see Josh lose the lead for more than just a lap this time round.
7, if
As
you got any closer to me, then you'd have wrecked
Car
it.
inside.
Anthony there just trying to get to the
He's
inside.
still there.
He's going to
next
muscle his
car
way
is
to the
Burgess.
inside. That is the 15 car
Still
as well,
there.
so the old top 4 from early on. Look at this, 2x2.
Go around.
So we head
On the
off
outside.
the
On the
trioval.
inside, buddy.
See if we can try and get the run off the corner.
Hold your line. Gus is now leading.
Keep the foot in.
Still there.
Try and
Clear
get the 7 a
inside.
bit of a
Thank you,
push.
David. Appreciate it, buddy.
Got Carlo.
This is so scary. So scary. These things. Oh no!
Behind you in the
About
middle.
just
Get
scared
through.
myself.
Behind.
Another
We got a 0x. We got away with it.
And
Oh!
Carlo.
I nudged him
Clear
as
low,
well.
car down
I'm
low.
so sorry.
Just get wrecked there.
Clear inside.
I didn't think I was on him. I'm so sorry. Somehow we've all, well, most of us have made it through.
That was not cool.
So far in the middle.
Where's the caution?
He didn't come back up on the track on the racing line.
That was so scary. I didn't, like I said, I didn't realise I was on him. I thought we were still just a little way behind. But 20 to go then.
Thank you, Casey.
So we've just got to keep on it there, as Kenneth, of course, has made it back through. I don't really know what his tyre strategy is at the moment, but still a lot of racing laps there. As, yeah, I mean, it only came up with the 2x after he started to lose it. We just tried to avoid the other guy. And then, yeah, clearly making myself some enemies then in this race, but we'll try and get ourselves back up towards the front. Wait and see what we can do then, as now we are really getting in towards sort of the more nitty-gritty point of this race. Got to try and find the way back past the 26.
I'm kind of waiting to
Hopefully
feel
sooner
my
rather than
front tire
later,
start
as
to fall off
Josh
now.
again just trying to hold the line. 26 there, just moving around. I thought about trying to sneak the car to the inside, but again didn't want to certainly make myself more enemies in this race. We've got a nice run off of turn 2.
Still there.
Might be able this time around just to try and send it on the high side. See what we can do.
Still there. Still
Try
there.
to run too high up the circuit.
Who's behind it getting close?
Still there.
Oh no, we're going to get squeezed and we're getting
There we
put in the
go.
Car
wall.
high.
Direction.
Safety car's coming out. Yellow
There
flag.
we go.
Not really a lot we could do there. He just
Yeah,
moved up towards
definitely.
me as we'll try and get back on the road as calmly as possible.
Looks like P6 has binned it.
Don't know if we picked up any damage from that one, but yeah, we just got squeezed out.
That was
And
actually a good stint of green
Now,
flag
we've actually
racing
got to try
we've
and just
actually
sort
had
everything
so
all
far,
out.
though. 15 left to
Right,
go, people.
15
so
laps to go then
have fun.
here from Daytona. It's been quite an adventure so far, and I don't think
Better to try and get as many
we're
laps in
right
after a
towards
wreck
the
as
end
possible, rather
just
than
yet. We'll
get
wait
wrecked
and see
then leave.
how this restart goes, but starting just behind Kerry
Yeah,
then. I
I
haven't raced
normally end
him
up
at all
waiting
today.
on pit road if I got too much
Green
damage.
flag,
to go
clear
further.
Green flag racing once again, and once more. Whoever's behind me doesn't seem to get on with it there, as
I couldn't
try and
find
make
what
sure
gear
they
I
don't
wanted to
blip off the throttle too much. Make sure we get it
not
slotted into the
gonna
gear
lie,
and then
couldn't
back
find
onto
the
the
gear.
throttle, but like I said, I don't really want Josh to get away either.
About how we get
I
any
feel
of
like
those
he's
tires.
very, very quick in these old cars.
Dude,
But I
my
feel like,
tires
you know,
are
we
fine
have got
at
good
36
pace.
laps, man.
But yeah, tyres and fuel, they should still be good to get to the end. Fuel definitely will be. Tyres are the only sort of uncertainty, as are we going to see the 16 go for anything? No, not yet. 16 just trying to stay in at the moment. It's just got to be careful of what guys do behind us, but I mean, this might now be a point where we start seeing cautions every few laps, just from people trying to move
Well, I
their way
obviously
towards
don't
the
have too
front.
much
but-
damage because I'm still
we'll
running
wait and see.
206.
But yeah, luckily, of course, these cars, you know, they're designed to dish out the big blows. You know, that was a
Kenneth,
fairly
sorry
heavy
to
knock,
see you
and we
go.
got away with it. I mean, the car does feel absolutely fine. Bonnet's still completely square as well. So always nice when something like that happens, because like I said, oh,
Oh, fuck off.
that is
They're
incredible.
inside.
He
At least
almost
you saved
blew
it.
over, just hitting the
Carlo.
apron. As well, have a look to the
Yeah,
outside
I'm
of the
leaning
16.
to those tires.
So can we try and get
No,
to the
no.
outside of the 16
No,
and
Paul.
take the lead?
We only got 13
Still there.
laps left. We can do it, man. We can do it.
He's still there. They're
Quite
inside.
that time round as we slot back in.
Inside.
Again, we'll be able to get the run off the
Right now,
corner.
it's even more if you're getting wrecked.
He's still there.
Wall.
Still there.
Don't hit the
You're in the
wall.
lead. You've just done a 44.3.
Oh, this is so
there.
scary. Neither of us want to
Still
be the
there.
one to back out of it. I'm going to try and hook it up around the outside.
Still there.
Be careful of the wall off of
Still
turn
there.
2. Now we might be able to
Still
get the
there.
speed as we head down the back stretch.
Still there.
And we can just get in front of him.
All you do
Inside's
is
clear.
just go and be off below
Yes,
that
we
yellow
can, and
line.
we'll let the guy behind try and battle him now. So leading the way it does hate at Daytona in these classic 1987 NASCARs. We've just got to try and control
try not to
all
push
the
into the
pace
ball,
from the
because
front
he's
as
got
well. Just nudge the apron again and it slides around underneath you, but of course the slipstream
Wait, on all tires too?
so powerful in these cars as
That's
well. You know,
marvelous.
all we can really do is hold the inside, try and defend
Lap
it
time was 44.5.
for all it's worth. Try and just make sure that we're smooth and steady through the corners. Of course, they'll have to take the dirty air. I mean, it's nothing like a European open wheel car or anything like that, but it's certainly still there. As you can see, yeah, a few
16, I am
cars
right
go
behind
up and
you.
down. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we've got enough down the straights at the moment. As Kerry doesn't want to do anything just yet, but of course it can only really be the last 5 laps. The big moves come in, the big risks are taken. That can sometimes be where we see a lot of the cautions towards the end of these races, but 11 laps to go then here from Daytona. Nice to get a couple
Oh,
of
why are
laps
you putting
there
across me
under
like
our
that?
belt. But yeah, just got to try and keep it clean and focus probably as much on our mirrors.
Andrew, go high, buddy.
There's- oh,
Go
no.
high. I'll give you the high side.
Car outside.
He just got loose on me. Why did it do that? He just got
And that's a
completely
10X.
loose.
Full course yellow. Safety car's coming out.
I've never had that before.
Nice,
Oh no,
evasive
car's
there.
absolutely
Walter.
wrecked. It just completely came round on me. I've never had that. I don't know whether it was just...
Bless you.
Oh, I don't know. That's so frustrating. But we've got to assess the damage.
No, Josh!
That might be us completely out of it.
Josh!
Shoot, me or the four?
The
Just me.
the Hardy's car. What are you doing?
Ah!
Josh? Okay.
I
Walter,
appear to have
it's not the
lost
car
a
that
wheel.
you hit, bro.
That's not helpful.
That was Josh.